I'm going to take a second to talk to you about underdogs.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for
Yeah.
you.
Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown, touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco. Thanks for tuning in.
When you hear Philadelphia, I hope you hear winner. I hope you hear grit. I hope you hear grind. We are not about to face a mountain and decide not to climb. We don't step into the ring to avoid a fight. We are the Eagles. And damn it, we are 13-1. How do you answer 2 interceptions? How about 3 rushing touchdowns? How about 315 passing yards? Ladies and gentlemen, we are not watching Jalen Hurts in a system. We are watching Jalen Hurts, the system. Are you not entertained? I'm sorry. We had to get dramatic. The Philadelphia Eagles are 13-1. What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Joe Castro, a.k.a. Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So I know y'all hype. I know I'm hype. You know what I'm saying? God likes to give you things in bunches at times. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles obviously go out there and win their game, and the Cowboys obviously go out there and can't figure it out against the Jags. It feels good. It feels good. Eagles got a little bit more breathing room, man. We're going to get into this chat right away because it's about y'all tonight. It's about y'all tonight. I'm hyped. I want to know how y'all feeling. Obviously, it wasn't the most beautiful of games. Maybe we'll start there. Let's start there. Before we get into the comments, shout out to everybody already in the comments. But before we get into the comments, it wasn't the most beautiful of games, but playoff teams, great teams win games like this. This is the type of game that you have to go out there and win. This is the type of game you have to go out there and figure out, right? There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be bruises. You know, there's going to be teams that just kind of figure things out that go against what you are good at. And that's what Chicago did to a certain extent. But we went out there and we figured it out. So Am I happy about the 3 turnovers? No. But at the end of the day, this Philadelphia Eagles team continues to figure it out. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I love it. I love everything about this. I love everything about this. Shout out to Taylor Bowers, man, becoming a member for 20 months. That's my dog. That's my dog. Smitty Eagles in the building says, fly, Eagles, fly. Quezzy the Great, 13-1. Yes, it feels good. It feels good. 13-1, it feels good. So the magic number is now 1. If the Vikings would have lost yesterday, this, you know, next week would have not mattered, but we're going to have a good Dallas week. We're going to have a good, fun time. I got some good people coming in to hang out with us. So shout out to Quezzy the Great. Lori Lewin, I hope I'm saying the last name right, says hashtag Bird Gang. This is what we wanted, man. And look, it was not a nice game. It was not a beautiful game. It was not a pretty game. And any stretch of the imagination, it was ugly. My girlfriend kept telling me, listen, that was not how we wanted to win that game. That is not how you want to win games. But at the end of the day, you win the game. I said this early in the game. People will talk a lot of junk about you when you have close games against bad teams, but they'll talk more junk when you lose games against bad teams. So at least we weren't on the latter side. Shout out to Smitty Eagles. Shout out to Uno. Shout out to Uno Velasquez, man. If y'all don't know his music, Uno, drop your link. Definitely got some fire music out there. You'll hear him throughout this actual podcast. You'll hear he's one of the last songs on here. So shout out to my guy, man. Shout out to my guy. Make sure everybody can hear me good. Make sure everybody can hear me good. But Taylor says, hey, man, tough, gritty game here. But I'm just exactly just saying F Dallas. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. You see how I had to like process it and make sure I bleeped you out. But no, look, that's This week was one of those weeks that it's like, just get out of here healthy. Shout out to my guy, Alcabir, the analyst, man. We said it on our podcast. Just get out of here healthy. Get out of here 100%. You know what I'm saying? And get out of here with the W. That's everything you had to do. Shout out to the Dallas Cowboys for giving us a little bit more under our Christmas tree. Obviously, right? Shout out to my guy who just dropped $5. Shout out to Drew Johnson, man. Drew Johnson said victory with the $5 super chat. I like the little holiday stuff they got going with the super chats now. Man, this feels good. This feels you guys came in a little bit too quick. This feels really good. I don't even know how to really process it right now. Obviously, like I said, it was an ugly win, but these are the type of games you really learn about your team. Like Hassan Reddick went out there and said, I will put this team on my back if I have to. I mean, I feel like, what else do we need to see? What else do we, I really don't know. I really don't know what else we need to see. Michael DeJean in the building. I love to see that. Keith Leahy said, what's going on? He said the cold was throwing both teams off. It was cold out there. And not just the cold, the wind. The wind was crazy, right? We were talking junk about whatever his name. I don't even know who the Bears kicker is. I could care less. But the Bears kicker threw up the grass and saw it go 15 feet the other opposite way. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm not kicking today, dog. And I think the Eagles kind of benefited from that. I think the Eagles saw early with the Bears game that they weren't able to really get the kicks off like they wanted to. We were able to benefit from that, and make adjustments. So I loved every part of this game. I really can't sit here. I can nitpick, Jalen Hurts and say, why did you throw 2 interceptions? But now that's 5 on the season. It's like, people are going to have bad games. Jalen had his first bad game, in my opinion, and in his first bad game, he still led us to victory. Like, I don't know. I just like it. Lori says an ugly win is still a win, especially, I don't want to hear no Dallas Cowboys fans come in here. That's really what it comes down to right now. I'm sorry, dog. Let me be petty for a second. I don't want to hear no Dallas Cowboys fans come in here talking about, oh, you guys barely won. You guys barely beat. You guys lost to the Jaguar. I don't want to hear nothing. Taylor says, I drop $1 every month because Joe drops gems for content. Subscribe to this man's channel already, Eagles. I respect that. I appreciate that, Taylor. I appreciate that, bro. Michael says, Reddick 12 sacks already. Bro, what is Josh Sweat at? Didn't he have 2 today? So that's 9.5? So he's a sack away from getting 10. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's this. We're coming from a year where we had 29 sacks. We had 29 sacks between our whole defense, not just our defensive line. Our whole defense had 29 sacks. We have more than 30 sacks between 2 or 3 players. I think 2 players, not 3 players, 3 players, right? You take 3 players, we have way more than 30. So it's crazy. It's crazy that the regeneration of this team. I'm hyped, man. It's time for the playoffs. I just want this next win so that it could be over. I don't care about the season anymore. I just want to get to the playoffs. And maybe that's what you kind of saw. Let me take this coat off. I'm hyped right now, y'all. Y'all got me going a little bit too hard right now. But no, I look at this game and I look at early in this game and I feel like maybe this team overlooked the Bears a little bit. And maybe that's saying a lot because the Bears aren't a great team. But I feel like maybe they were looking towards next week, right? That could happen. That could definitely happen. So I'm glad that they were able to just kind of settle down. We have a Facebook group chat. This is kind of random, but I have a Facebook group for Philly the podcast. If you guys are on Facebook, definitely go check out over there. They usually get the videos first. But they kept on throwing me a notification saying make a Facebook group chat. So I made a group chat. We're already at, I think, 66 plus members. So definitely go join over there. But I said it in there during the game. We got to calm down in that second half. We got to just start playing our game again. And I think that's what the Philadelphia Eagles did. I think the Philadelphia Eagles figured out that they were just kind of playing a little bit of ahead of themselves. I think Jalen Hurts was trying to make plays that are outside of him, things that he wouldn't normally do. And, we were able to calm down. That's huge. BG got 8.5. So that's we could be looking at 4 or 5 guys with plus 10 plus sacks. That's crazy. Jacob said, read my last comment. The Steelers beat the Panthers. I think I picked the Panthers. I think I picked the Steelers. Excuse me. But what's going on, Jacob? What's going on? I missed a lot of comments. My bad, y'all. My bad. Unspoken Word says Justin Fields is going to be a problem. Joe Eaton Birds. We win in adverse conditions. Is it crazy? So, all right. Last year, I said when Justin, maybe not last year, but when Justin Fields got drafted, I said I really liked what he was. I thought that he was a pretty good player coming out of college. I felt that he's been dealt a very, very bad hand when you look at how the Bears are run. I don't think that they have a good coaching staff. I don't obviously think that they have a really good team around him. So I felt like he was dealt a bad hand, but I think he's a good player. I think he's a guy that is on the rise, and I think he's a guy that you can kind of compare to a Jalen Hurts. Is that crazy to say? And I'm not just saying that because he went crazy against us. Uno says, dudes were too worried about Jalen this week and couldn't finish their food, and we're going to handle Dallas next week. That Dallas game, I don't know, man. I don't know, because they were up, 21-7? They were up 21-7 at one point. I don't know if it was worse than that at some point. I know they had 24 points, but I thought by that point Jacksonville hit 10. Either way, you were up by 2 scores, for most of that game, most of that first half. Some explaining's gonna need to be done, right? So some explaining's gonna need to be done for that team. I've said it before though, and I'll say it again, man. I do not think that Dallas survives as they are constructed for very much longer. I just don't. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Eagles has landed. What's going on? There will be no more the Eagles struggled and barely beat talk by Cowgirls fans. Cowgirls fans ain't got nothing to say. If we see one in here, I can't wait. I would love to see it. I would love to see them actually show up. Because what can you say? You've lost to the Eagles. I just don't know what else excuses you can make. Slay definitely be avoiding tackles. Slay made some bad plays this game. I'll say it. Slay definitely made some business decisions this game, but it is what it is, man. I mean, he's been way better than, he's been good more than not, right? He's been good more than not. So I'm cool with what Slay brings to this team. I get it, though. There was definitely some plays that I was looking at that I was like, come on, Slay, come on. But, I mean, there was some business decisions I felt like made early on by this offense. I feel like they felt they were going to blow this Bears team out, and they were going to be able to rest, because I felt like a lot of it early on was them just saying, let's get a quick lead so we can relax. And you can't play teams like that. The fact that I think Miles Sanders had 1 carry in the first half that's a travesty. Somebody said on Twitter that they felt it was because they were loading the box. They load the box all the time. That's literally what they do against the Eagles. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I can only see the YouTube chat through my OBS right now because I'm still fixing some things. So if you guys are on Facebook, if you guys are on Twitter, if you guys are on Twitch, we're live on as well. Definitely go check out the YouTube channel so you can get into the conversation. Would love to have you. We got about 36 people now in the YouTube chat. So shout out to everybody in the YouTube chat. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe if you are in the YouTube chat. And if you are in any of the chats, definitely hit that like wherever you are. Share it with your friends. Do whatever you can. We are about 10 away from 4K. So I appreciate all the love, and I appreciate all the I appreciate it all. I don't even know what to say, man. The Eagles are 13-1. I'm over here trying to be humble about it. I don't know what to say anymore. But shout out to Mr. Rudy Poo with the $5 super chat. He said, team needs to learn how to play in this type of cold. Definitely played a huge factor. I can agree with that. I think not just the cold. I do attribute some of it to the wind. I think that it was a very windy day. And I think that you're 100% right, though. I think this Eagles team needed to learn how to get through a game like this. Now, not just Justin Fields. I think that was a guy that we had kind of pegged as the feature of this Bears team, right? But we saw other players being able to make plays, especially on that defense. So, I mean, I agree 100%, but I love it. I switched from group chat to here, Lloyd. That's what you got to do. I respect it. Kev said, I watched the press conference. Hurts going to be ready for the cold postseason weather for our home games. Yeah, I think he's one of those guys that he's upset about this game more than we are. right? As fans, I think that we're happy that we're out of the game. We're healthy. We don't really got to worry about this game no more. It happened. The Cowboys lost, so it kind of, and I'm going to say that, it is what it is. I know some content creators will shy away from it, but it softens the blow. I mean, when you have a tough game, but your division rivals don't go out there and get the job done, it softens the blow. So, look, the Cowboys lost. Vikings had a really, really tough time, and if they would have lost, like I said, next week wouldn't even really matter. But it does to a certain extent, so we're going to see what happens there. But look, I'm hype about what this team is, man. I really am hype about what this team is. Taylor says we got to get rid of the Fire Howie sticker, though, Joe. I know. I look dumb having that at this point. Maybe we switch it with like a Hurts for MVP. I don't know. I'm going to have to talk to my girl. My girl does most of all the graphics and everything, so we'll see what she likes, what she thinks would be cool. It's going to end up being a Mailata thing. I can almost guarantee you. She loves Jordan Mailata and Jordan Davis. I don't know if it's a Jordan thing, but it's going to probably be one of them too. They was up 17. Kev, there's got to be, we're going to have Best of Enemies this week, and we're obviously going to have some guests. Me and Tucker are going to do some things as far as this week goes. There's going to be a lot of questions that need to be answered because it doesn't make sense. It definitely does not make sense. That was an ugly game for them. Winston said, what's up, big dog? What's going on, brother? What's going on? So pumped. Dallas lose. We win. Great Sunday. It's a beautiful Sunday. I get to go into work a little bit late tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Christmas is right around the corner. We going to beat them again. We need to give Hurts the bag. Hurts going to get the bag. Hurts is definitely going to get the bag, Michael. Winston says, Dallas fans on Law Nation are hating hard on the Eagles. That's all they got right now. The Cowboys need to beat us in their eyes. And I'm not even saying it for us. Like, I'm not saying it for, like, really any division thing. Because even if they beat us, we still need to lose a couple games. So it's like they need to beat us to make themselves feel better. And that's really what it feels like right now. So we'll see what happens, man. Mailata is the man. You got to check out his backstory on YouTube. Mailata is definitely the man. I got to check that out. I didn't know he had is it like a little documentary about him? I definitely got to check that out. Lonely B, what's going on? Says Howie, exec of the decade. He really is. Howie Roseman is really like, I need to fix. That's what we'll do. We're going to do one that's just Howie Roseman is like, we'll figure some type of shrine for Howie Roseman out. As one of the membership things or whatever. I don't even know what to say. Big James needs to be there. Big James is going to hate me this week. James is going to hate me this week. We're going to be live for the game. So I don't know what y'all doing Christmas Eve, but me and James are definitely going to be live for the game. It's going to be a lot of fun. It might be a lot of fun. It might be terrible for him. You know what I'm saying? It might be terrible for me. We'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. 2-win Sunday. Facts. It's called Bankstown Kid, short doc, but amazing journey from left tackle. I got to check it out. I'm going to check it out, definitely. Unspoken says, nah, go get big game James. He always poo-pooing the birds. Where he at? Facts. No, we going to talk to him. We definitely going to talk to him. Look, and at the end of the day, we have to eat that it was not the prettiest of games, right? It was not the most amazing of games. What's Devontae Adams looking like? But it was not one of the most pretty games, right? It was an ugly game for the Eagles, but at least you win. That's like the most important thing. At least you win. At least you get out of there with the dub. And that's the most important thing right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. So shout out to them. I'm cool with it right now. Uno says, I think Fields can be really good with some weapons. He isn't a bad decision maker, even when pressured. I see a lot of Hurts in him. A lot of the things that kind of worried me about Jalen Hurts, they showed in Justin Fields' game, and it's kind of now you look at it from a different perspective. So I don't know. I like him. I like the kid. I think he could be something good. I definitely think he could be something good. Hurts is the best quarterback in the division. Dak sucks. Ask James, who is better. It has to be, right? Dak Prescott's out here throwing an interception every other week, it feels like. Or every week, it feels like at this point. Like every week, I feel like I'm looking at Dak Prescott getting 1 to 2 interceptions. So I don't know how you say that it's anybody else in this division. Jalen Hurts has done things that none of us thought. I don't care how high you were on Jalen Hurts. To think that he would take this type of step is insane. It's insane. The kid's going crazy. He really is going crazy. And it's fun to watch. I'll say that much. It is definitely fun to watch. Blue Pill, what's going on? What's going on? I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Now you got me thinking, though. I don't know what Taylor. I don't know what we should put there for the fire Howie. We gotta put something legendary there. The fire Howie wave was, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know you were a real one. That's how you know you was here day one. We was screaming. We was all screaming it. Joe's wifey in the chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The only reason Hurts had 2 interceptions was because of the win. I mean, I won't put it all on the win. I will say on one of them, it felt like Quez didn't run the route correctly. You know, and I'm not trying to say that, like, I don't know how to really put that without sounding like, you know, I know more than, I'm not saying I know more than him. I just feel like he got caught up for an extra second, maybe a half a second, and it kind of threw off the timing between him and Jalen Hurts. So I think that was the second one. The first one, I would have to rewatch it again, to be honest. But I mean, it definitely had a factor. It definitely played a factor into this game. So it's not something you can just ignore. So A.J. Brown has 1,200 yards and Smitty has 900. Pink Elephant, why we always struggle against rookie mobile quarterbacks. We knew they wanted to run Justin. I mean, look, Justin Fields, it's funny because somebody said on, I think it was Uno. I think it was actually Uno. But he was like, you know, we got to contain this quarterback. It's like you go out there and try and stop that guy. Justin Fields is just, it's hard to do it, man. You know, a lot of people feel the way that we felt against Justin Fields. A lot of people feel that way against Jalen Hurts. It's like, I mean, you know, you can do so much. You can only do so much. Sirianni is Soup Capone. I like that. Instead of fire Howie, say hi Howie again. Another extension. Damn, if he didn't come back and shut us up, though, Howie bounced back. Yeah, Howie definitely shut us up, and I'm cool with it. Eagles has land. It says football games are not beauty contests. It's fine to win ugly. That's 100%. That's 100% true, man. And the Eagles. Oh my bad. I'm messing up the thing. Excuse my language. But no, the Eagles have won in many different ways. So I'm cool with it. I am cool with it. I'm happy they got the dub. And I am too, Dank. That's all we needed. Well, talk to him, Miss Lynn. Talk to him, baby girl. Look at my girl over here telling y'all to like and subscribe. You know it's real when my girl telling y'all don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish I could pull it up on the chair. Oh, okay, I see you, girl. Get it. But Kev says it's funny Dallas fans was talking about us barely beating the Colts and Jags. They lost to the Jags and had comeback versus the Colts. Exactly. It's hilarious. It's awesome. And they're not going to admit to it. That's the best part of all of it. They're not going to admit to it. Damn, Cardinals. Colt McCoy is a sad. Y'all talk about Jordan Mailata's story. Colt McCoy's got a sad story. But anyways, now that's how an MVP gets a game done. Martin, I want to ask y'all, and I want to ask everybody in the chat. Because, you know, I said this to my girl, and I'll admit to it. I'll admit to what I said. I said this is probably going to hurt Jalen Hurts pretty bad in the MVP race. How do y'all feel about that? Do you feel like the second half overtook the first half? You know, because realistically, 3 rushing touchdowns, 300 passing yards. I mean, he went kind of crazy in that second half. He only had like 90 passing yards in the first half. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that the second half kind of overtook the first half? Yes, sir, Taylor. Yes, sir. Dang, what a great day. I feel you. Lonely says, this is not Jalen Hurts hate, but if you can draft a Hurts in the second round or a Fields at 11 and can stack a team like this one because the quarterback is on a rookie deal, why not draft a quarterback high again? That's a conversation to have. I mean, and you know me, I don't shy away from uncomfortable conversations. Lonely, that's something. Let's talk about that in a couple months. Let's talk about that if we win a Super Bowl. Let's talk about that if we don't win a Super Bowl. I think that that's fair to wait on, but I think that that's a fair question. I would say that. I think that that's a fair question because money is going to be of premium, and it sucks. It sucks that it's a fair question, but it is a fair question. And this is a question that I've brought up, right? This is a question I've brought up a couple times. So we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. But I would say wait on that question. Parsons barely made noise. What did Parsons do? Let me look at the numbers, because I didn't even watch that game. Let me look at what he did defensively. Because I know Michael Gallup ain't do nothing for me. I'll say that much. Michael Gallup did absolutely nothing for me. So he had a sack. Micah Parsons had 2 tackles and a sack. That's nothing to write home about. That's definitely nothing to write home about. Let's look at Reddick's numbers, because I didn't even look at Reddick's numbers to end the game. Reddick had a whole season in one game. So he had 4 tackles. That's not nothing crazy, but he had 2 sacks. Well, I felt like he had a forced fumble. Didn't he have a forced fumble? He had a forced fumble recovery. Yeah, so they did give him that forced fumble on the sideline. Bro, we just went crazy. It's like it's always somebody. Parsons had 1 sack. Show enough in the building. What's going on, brother? I believe Nick and Steichen wanted one game for Hurts to go pass heavy. We know the run and RPO works, but maybe Nick wanted to see a different scenario to see how good Hurts is mainly from the pocket. It's possible. I feel like we've seen it though from Hurts, and and if that was the question, what do you say now? Because I mean, obviously the 2 interceptions is a stat killer. But outside of that, he was pretty darn good, right? He made some good decisions. He made a couple really good throws. He made a bad throw. He made a couple bad throws. I say he made a couple bad throws. But what would your grade be afterwards, right? Eagle Slayer said it did, but he redeemed himself when it mattered most. I respect that. We need to draft a cornerback. I agree with that 100%. Well, Pat also struggled a good week. Next week will lock us in that MVP. Look, I really don't care about MVP race for him. It would be cool for him, don't get me wrong. But at this point, I just want to win the Super Bowl. I want to get to the playoffs healthy, and I want to win this Super Bowl. He said, yeah, dude was taking big hits, driving me nuts, but stood in there and delivered when he needed to. MVP, yeah. Dank Burrito said, I don't think it did. He had a rough start and came through. I respect that. Hargrave has 10 sacks. So how many people we got so far? We got 2 people so far with 10 sacks, right? And then Josh Sweat a half a sack away. So grade so far, B+. He came back and delivered. Dank says B-. Quezzy says B+. D3, yeah, exactly. Super Bowl is definitely the goal. Yes, I'm biased, but seriously, they don't want to give the Birds credit. If any of the so-called top-tier teams were where we are, the media would be eating it up. It's a fact. I agree with that. And I really don't know why. I really don't understand why the Eagles are getting all this hate. But it's okay. Because honestly, it's giving us that chip on the shoulder. I said this prior to the beginning of the season. That I felt like the fact that the Eagles had so many players that were very good with chips on their shoulders. Because if you look at Hassan Reddick, a lot of people were saying he was going to get overpaid. A lot of people said he wasn't necessarily worth what he was going to get. He was just kind of a flash in the pan. You see what he's been able to do. Fletcher Cox was called out. Brandon Graham was called out. I mean, all these guys are called. Jalen Hurts obviously was called out. So, I mean, there's been question marks about almost everybody on this team, and they've just delivered. So, it's been fun, man. It's been fun. Can't believe AJ got caught from behind on that bomb from Hurts. Facts, right? A- Smitty says AJ was tired. Yeah. Reddick is a beast. Reddick is a godsend. Reddick is that guy that it's like, thank you so much. Thank you, Howie. Thank you, Reddick, for, wanting to come here. But, he was a godsend. We got 35 people in the chat, man. Be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe if you guys are on YouTube. We are now 10 away from 4K. We are 10 subscribers away from 4K. So if you have not hit that subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. Winston, Hurts torched Chicago for 300 plus yards, and Jags torched Cowboys for 300 plus yards. Can't wait till Sunday. It's going to be fun. Or it's Saturday, right? Yeah, we play them Saturday. It's going to be fun. I want to look at something real quick. And call this, call me a hater for this, but I just want to look at something real quick. So Dak had two touchdowns, 1 interception, 250 yards. He went 21 for 27. So not a terrible game. Had less yards than Jalen Hurts, but not a terrible game. So I can't talk too much junk. I wanted to. I wanted to talk junk. I wanted to talk mad junk, but I can't talk too much junk. This is one of those games, man. This is one of those games that your defense had to go out there and keep you in this game. Not necessarily win it for you, but they had to keep you in this game. Let your offense figure out what the game plan was going to be. And I don't know, and I'm sure, over the course of the week, we'll figure this out, and we'll kind of go through this game with a fine-tooth comb and figure out if there was something to them stopping us or if it was just us. But, I don't know off of just watching it if there was something that we can take away from this as far as, well, the Eagles need to get better at this. I think the Eagles went out there and wanted to just kind of show something off. They wanted to get a quick lead, and they just abandoned the running game. And that's not who we are. That's not who we are. We can go up 14-0 with some quick, big plays, but it all, in my opinion, comes off of the running game. So that's where I think we kind of messed up, but we'll see what happens. Wallace had his best games. He definitely did. Wallace definitely had his best game. He had 2 picks. Who had 2 picks? Are you talking about Dak today? Let's not forget that, Carson Wentz was traded, right? And they took on a lot of dead money because he lost to the Jaguars. So I'm not saying it could happen here, but yeah, he had 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 256 less yards than obviously Jalen Hurts. Couldn't get it to Michael Gallup, man, just he upset me. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how many of y'all are in y'all fantasy football playoffs, but I definitely am, and it's not looking good for me. It's looking like I might lose. I need Joe Mixon to get something going. Yeah, because Chris Godwin killing me. It's not looking good for me. It's looking like I might lose. It is not looking. At least the Eagles won, I guess. At least the Eagles go. That's tough. That's tough for your boy Joe. That is definitely tough for your boy Joe. The good thing is the Eagles defense not going to have to deal with a dual quarterback. Now just wait till we play Dak. Yeah, Dak Prescott, as far as his legs go, they don't worry me. I really ain't worried too much. We definitely needed a game like this. You always want to see how many type of ways you can win. I wouldn't say we needed a game like that. You just need to get out of these games healthy with a win. That's really, I don't think we have anything else to prove, realistically. Outside of losing, nothing is going to tell me much about this team. So just get out of these games healthy with a dub. That's all you got to do. Stephen A. Smith be clowning the Clown Boys. Whatever you call him. Threw the pick 6 to lose the game. Yeah, that's the crazy part. I said this to somebody, and I feel like they took it as hate because they always take it as hate. But I feel like Dak Prescott's kind of been the detriment of the Dallas Cowboys as of late. I feel like when they were just leaning on the run game, letting Cooper Rush throw it 20, 30 times at the most a game, they were winning games, right? And now it's like if Dak Prescott isn't having a great game, they lose. I think Reed Blankenship comes back against Dallas. So does Goddard. Yeah, I think Goddard's coming back next week. Obviously, they didn't activate him this week. Would have been interesting if we had him. He definitely could have helped. But, they didn't activate him this week, so I definitely think he's going to come back next week. We'll see what happens there. Reed Blankenship will be an interesting. I liked what I saw out of Kayvon Wallace. I think this is, to Kev's point, I think this was probably his best game. So It's interesting. I think he's a huge asset, and I'll say huge asset. I think he's a huge asset when it comes to the run game. I still get a little bit worried about him in the coverage game, which, as a safety, obviously not the best thing to say. I thought we'd see Goddard. No, they wanted to be a little bit safe with Goddard. Obviously, they did activate his 21-day window, so I do assume he's going to be playing this week coming up against Dallas. I think they felt like they didn't really need him. I think that they saw that they were winning without him, so it didn't make sense to really risk it. You know what I'm saying? But I do see Dallas Goedert coming back next week. I do see Dallas Goedert coming back this week, I should say. So it'll be interesting. But if we win this game, I mean, if we beat the Dallas Cowboys, there's really no incentive to play the rest of the schedule out. So you might not see much of the starters in the last 2 games, which would be beautiful. So it's really the Eagles hold their own fate. If you're an Eagles starter and you want a little bit of a vacation before the playoffs start, you got to just win this next game, and that's what will happen. Dak threw the game-losing interception. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It was a beautiful thing to watch, Dirty Seth. I think it was good that we didn't activate Goddard in the cold weather like that. Body usually gets stiff when it's cold. Don't need that shoulder to get re-aggravated. Very true. Very, very, very true. Smitty says they sat him so that he will be no snap limitation, I think. Yeah, they want him at 100%. There was really no reason to start him if he wasn't 100%. If he didn't feel ready to go, he's back to the old him, give him that extra week. It really didn't make sense, because even worst case scenario, if you do lose the game, you're still in the driver's seat of your own destiny. So you have him back next game at full health. I'm not mad at that decision at all. I will say there's some things I'll look at, like, Shane Steichen early in this game. Some of the calls that he was making, I didn't really like. Some of the design, some of the play schemes that we had going on with this offense, I was not a fan of. But, look, you win the game, so you go from there. We'll go from here. Cav says we'll be nice to win Saturday and then beat the Saints so we get that top 5 pick and rest versus the Giants. Yeah, that's true. Get that top 5 pick. I didn't even think of that. It sucks that they got to be such a late game. You know what I mean? I think they did that to us on purpose. I think they try to make us get an extra game, and they was like, nah, we know y'all going to, dominate this schedule, so we're going to make sure y'all have to play late into the season if you want a good pick. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I think our backups at this point could beat the Saints. And that's not being cocky. I truly do feel that. Even if you play our starters a quarter or two, if you play them like a half, I would be cool with that. I think that keeps you warm, that keeps you warmed up, that keeps you going, and I would be cool with that. I would be okay with that. But yeah, I look, at the end of the day, I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles, this was not the most beautiful of wins. I'll say that again. I know I've said it before. These are the type of games that you got to win, though. If you expect to be a solid playoff team, you got to win these games. You got to show that you have that grit, you have that grind. And that's it. The Philadelphia Eagles continuously do that. And I talk mad junk about Jalen Hurts. If anybody talks about Jalen Hurts this week, talking about how trash he is, I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. He had one bad game. That man has 5 interceptions this year. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Jose says our run defense was good, but struggled with containing Justin Fields. But Fields is a different kind of beast when he's on the run. I agree with you, Jose, but that's a two-sided thing. Just like you said, Justin Fields is a different type of beast. It's hard to stop him. And look, we did a decent job. I truly do feel that. We didn't allow Justin Fields' running game to open up a huge passing game, right? We also didn't let Justin Fields' running game open up a bunch of running lanes for David Montgomery, which could have happened. So we didn't let his elite trait decide the game. And that's what a lot of teams did against the Eagles last year. They did not allow Jalen Hurts' elite trait to decide the game. Now we have a bunch of different players that can help us decide the game, whether it be offensively or defensively. Justin Fields might get there. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Justin Fields might get there sooner than later. Justin Fields is a good player. But luckily he didn't get there today. He didn't get there this week. So that's all that matters. Why did we wait till 6 minutes left to the second quarter to give Miles Sanders his first Winston, if you find out, please let me know. Winston, if you find out, please let me know, because I don't know. When I saw he had only one touch, I believe, going into the second half, I was like, what is going on? This is a travesty. It made no sense. It really didn't. So if you find out, please let me know. Smitty says, quick question, who in the NFL can we beat to get the proper respect we deserve? Is it Chiefs, Bengals, or apparently it's one of those. I don't know. Again, and I hate to keep using the same question, but it's like we've done everything you can ask. We've done everything you can ask of us with a schedule that was made 2 years prior to us playing it. There's nothing we can do about that schedule. There's nothing. So it is what it is. Martin says we need to use Miles Sanders more, leave the screen block for Dallas Goedert. I agree. Quezzy says we need to use Miles from the start of the game next week. I agree 100%. Bengals losing to the Bucks. I know that. And freaking their offense ain't doing nothing, man. They're in the red zone right now. So maybe I get a touchdown here from Mixon or something. I got Burrows and Joe Mixon. They ain't doing nothing for me, man. Gallup ain't do nothing for me today. Like, it's been tough. It's been tough for your boy. I'll tell you that much. It's been tough for your boy lately. But we'll see what happens. We got 33 people in the YouTube chat. Like I said, if you are on Facebook, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Twitch, definitely go head on over to the YouTube chat. Join the conversation. We are only 10 subscribers away from 4,000 subscribers. 4,000 subscribers. It would mean the world to me if you guys shared it with somebody you think would, hit that subscribe. Or if you are not a subscriber yet, definitely hit that subscribe button, man. It would mean the world to me. So we're going to get into it. I appreciate that, Winston. I appreciate you getting that out of here. But look, man, we've been going for a while now. I ain't gonna hold y'all for too long. I know y'all in y'all fantasy playoffs. I know y'all, it is what it is. This is what I want to do, though. I want to leave a question. If you've made it this long and you're watching it from, the rewind, or if you're here live, leave in the comments. This is my question. If you were to build a team from every single division, which division, do you think would win the Super Bowl, and who would be the MVP from that divisional team? So take every team from the NFC East, make a team, every team from the AFC East, make a team, and so on and so forth. Which team would win the Super Bowl, and who would be the MVP of that team? Random question. I just want to know what y'all think. But other than that, man, I do appreciate everybody that came in here. I know this is very, very random, as all of mine are. I don't think that I ever plan anything anymore because it's just boring. I like to just come out of nowhere, and you guys seem to always support. Also, we do have the Facebook group popping, man. So definitely go join the Facebook group. It's a lot of fun. I didn't expect people to actually join, but it's a cool little community that's actually grown pretty quickly. So definitely go check that out. But other than that, y'all know what it is, man. And if you don't, I'm about to tell you right now. Okay? So if you didn't know what it is, this is actually what it is. It's Fly, Eagles, Fly. And we are out of here. And y'all can say this with me. Peace!
Fly, Eagles, fly, on the team, touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a bird game nation, baby, it's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog, or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randolph. Season here, early time to do them in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.